Hi, everybody. My name is Colleen. I am one of the bookmobile librarians here at Kent District Library, and I'm so excited to bring some books to you today that are in our emerging readers or eager readers section. In our library, it's known as the ER section. And oftentimes these are parts of series. When you find a series, sometimes it's actually the same characters each time. Like the series is Whale, Quail, and Snail, particularly when whales fly. But it's also part of a publisher series, the Happy to Read series, and it might even be leveled. Levels are different in every series. I never go by those necessarily. Usually I open up the book and make sure that it's like the types of subjects that the kiddos are interested in, or it might just have a few words on a page. And with When Whales Fly by Erica Pearl and illustrated by Sam Ali, there are just like 4 or 5 words on a page. So very simple reading, and it keeps the same words repeating through it, as well as having some rhyming to it. So this is a fun book if you're part of the Whale, Quail, and Snail kiddos. Snail loves to have fun and to surf, and Quail loves to explore, but Whale wants to learn to fly. Whales flying, kind of a problem with science in that one. But when you get friends together and have good imaginations, you never know what might happen. So this is also, like I said, fiction. It is part of the Learning Through Imagination section of the library. We also, when I was looking, I did find a really excellent book in the Learning Through Factual Information, the first big book of Why by Britannica. And this, I hope your kiddos in your life love to ask why, but you may not always know the answer or how to explain it in a way that's really easy and simple for them to understand. And the first big book of Why by Britannica has the answers to all kinds of things, information about bugs, information about science, why are there earthquakes, why can't penguins fly? We figured out how whales might be able to, but why does popcorn pop? Why do we have to brush our teeth? Just all kinds of great answers to those questions that are in very short, concise, but factual information that your kiddos can actually, in an emergent reader, younger reader, maybe learn some new vocabulary, sound out some words, and be able to pick out and perhaps even read those descriptions themselves with a little help from their friends. So that's in the curious section of our library, nonfiction, J nonfiction, and the Britannica books. We also love to learn more about things in those younger age levels. And one of those things might be what I want to be when I grow up, or different types of people in their community and what they do for their jobs and why they're out there. And in this one, I Want to Be a Firefighter by Laura Driscoll. The pictures are by Catalina Echeverry, part of the I Can Read series of my community. This you can find out, myself included. I enjoyed reading about all the different types of firefighters that there are. So it has very short sentences, familiar words for the kiddos, and both these brothers and sisters want to learn more about being a firefighter. So great story also in our nonfiction information, true information, career section, and also by Driscoll. So always make sure if you've got some younger readers, those series can be both in the fiction, learning through imagination, but also learning factual information in our nonfiction section. So learning through play, so of course imagination, we have the latest in the Parker series. These are written by Parker Curie and Jessica Curie. Brittany Jackson and Taijia Keith drew the pictures. Both Brittany did the cover and Taijia did the insides. But this one is Parker Dresses Up. So who doesn't love to play dress up? In this, Parker and her brother and sister are all involved in getting out into the costume box. But unfortunately, like most brothers and sisters, there comes a problem with getting along well. Mom is there to help them figure out the best way to solve their problems, work through those problems. And in the meantime, they're also figuring out, who might I want to be when I get older? So the part of the Parker Dresses Up series in our fiction or learning through imagination part of the library. Another book that I really enjoyed was Wake Up Bear. This is through the Highlights Puzzle Readers series, Bear and Friends. Wake Up Bear is by Jody Jetson Schaefer, and art is by Claire Rosetier. And when I was a kid, so we're going back a little ways. When I was a kid, we always used to get Highlights magazine, and it was just so much fun to be able to do all the puzzles and learn through recognizing letters and sounds, following a story that might have predictable text you can kind of figure out. So it gives confidence because the kids might be able to figure out what word comes next by looking at the picture and by sounding out the words that they've known before, and gain a better understanding and confidence in their reading. They also have just pictures, so they can tell the story themselves, which how much more confidence can you get there? And also learn comprehension and fluency. So hits all of the basics for a good learning book. In this one, there is a puzzle of how our friends are going to manage to wake up Bear in the springtime. And there's also a puzzle on the cover. If you pause it after we're done here, can you find the D on the cover of Wake Up Bear? So, yay, all kinds of fun. Another thing that we love to do in our family is celebrate birthdays. Oh my goodness. This one is part of the Raymond and Roxy stories, the Raymond and Roxy books. Step into reading, reading with a little bit of help sometimes, or like I said, if your child's older, they just want to find out and read something about somebody having a birthday. They can read the Ready, Set, Birthday. Vonda Michelou Nelson wrote this book, and Derek Anderson drew the pictures. And this is all about Raymond, who does everything fast, but he can't make his birthday in time come any faster. So maybe with the help of his friend Roxy and his family, he'll learn how to make time fly. This one was a great story for learning vocabulary, but also, which I found very unique, and I don't see as much in the beginning reader books or emergent reader books. This had a bunch of similes in it. So like slow as a sloth helps with, again, understanding the fluency, understanding elements of language, and just a really fun story about birthdays, because everybody loves birthdays. We also, I don't know about you, but I love robots. So between the Wimmy Words show, I've really, that KDL produces, I've really enjoyed learning more about robots and having fun. And this is the Bippo and Bleak series. With Bippo and Bleak, they are robots, but they're also best friends. And they're different, but they like being with each other. In this, the first one, Bippo and Bleak by Sarah Weeks here, and it's illustrated by Joey Ellis. you find out more about knock-knock jokes. And unfortunately, Blippo does not quite get how they work. So Bleep, who's the little purple one over to the side here, Bleep is going to help him learn before she runs out of patience. And we also have this other one in the series. This is the I Feel Funny. This one, Blippo isn't feeling very well. And so Bleep is there to help him figure out what's wrong and help him to feel better. One thing I love with the illustrations on these stories, you want to make sure you look and pay attention to Blippo's little belly there. He gets different changes throughout the stories. So these we found very fun to read with the younger people in my family, and to just learn how to get together, get along better. The last book officially that not quite. I have one more. Almost forgot. Oh my goodness. So See Me Go. This is part of the I Like to Read series, and Paul Meisel drew the pictures and wrote the story. He's written several stories, many of them with the dogs. Many of them have very, very short, just literally, I think there's maybe like less than 30 different, not even 30 words in the entire story. So you're a lot of repetitive with the same books. So same stories, same words. So it gives your kids more confidence because they're seeing the same thing and getting a better comprehension and understanding of those words and how they can be used in sentences in different ways. And this one is an adventure book. It has the dogs heading out on the water, going underwater, going down, coming back up in a spaceship, exploring space, going back down to Earth, and the parachutes that you see here, and they end up in Egypt, in the sarcophagus, like a sphinx, or pyramid, sorry, with the sphinx nearby. So this, when I read it to the kids in my family, they were very interested in the Sphinx and interested in Egypt and wanted to find out more about different countries and different places. And so what I did is I pulled up one of the actual launch pads that your library, or KDL specifically, does have, the Playaway launch pads. They are tablets that are preloaded, and they have stories, they have quizzes, they have information, but you can see it comes on the tablet in here with a charger. Everything's there for you. This one is the World Explorer. And it does focus on travel. It's got a couple of books that you can play inside. And it actually also teaches some early vocabulary and imaginative play. It has French, and my first French words, my first Italian words, flags, some state capitals, and U.S. states and capitals quizzes. So a really awesome way to kind of get a different type of learning in a way that kids themselves, when you tell them, oh yes, go ahead, play on your tablet, just adore, and sneak in some learning with them. There's many of these in KDL, and if you're not a KDL patron, just check with your local librarians and see if you might be able to get these in at your library as well, or they may have some equally fun ways that they suggest that you do some outside learning too with tech. My last book today is The Backyard Pet. Backyard Pet is part of the Chicken Squad stories. These are by Doreen Cronin, and Stephen Gilpin is drawing the pictures. If you have older kids, you may be familiar with the Chicken Squad thicker books that are out there. These are actually in our JE section, or we call it's our like juvenile readers or junior readers. Basically, it's the early chapter books for these, but they have started putting out some easy readers. in the series, and I love it because once the kiddos start getting attached to Dirt and Sweetie and Poppy and Sugar, they are the chicks, the chickens who love to solve mysteries. So this kind of the early reader, the ER, gets them set into the story, and then either they can move into when they start reading their own, or if you want a great book to read at night, and with older kids too, and kind of help with some vocabulary, and you read to me, I read to you kind of scenarios. A great series to do with the kiddos in your life. So I am happy to be able to present all of these books for you today, and hope you enjoyed and found something great. We also have Christine coming on next to show you some of her favorites that she's discovered in our Easy Reader section, or ER section. Have a great day.
Hi everyone, I'm Christine from the Kentwood branch of Kent District Library, here to tell you about a few more early readers that I loved and hope that you and your reader will as well. When I tell you about a book, I will include what the publisher recommends as a good age level or grade level. This is not at all to specify who should or shouldn't read this book. Since you're at home right now, you can't just open the book and take a look at how many words per page there are, what the length of the words are that are used in this book. So including this information from the publisher in my book talk is just giving you one more tool to use as you kind of decide if the reading level of this book might match up well with your reader's reading level. So take it as you will. Now, a lot of the books I'm going to tell you about today are categorized as graphic novels, which you can see from this red sticker on the side. Now, all early reader books are going to have a lot of pictures. The one thing that separates the books with this red sticker from the books without the red sticker is just that the ones with the red sticker are told using more of a comic strip style format, while the early readers without that sticker are going to look a little bit more like your typical picture book. That's all. All right, here we go. The first one I have for you today is Monsters in a Mess, written by Candace Ransom and illustrated by Tyrell Solomon. The Monster family is doing something super exciting. They are picking out their first pet. They pick out this fish and bring him home only to realize that there's nowhere to put the fishbowl because the house is just such a mess. What are they going to do to solve this problem? This book is recommended for ages 4 through 6 and grades preschool through first. It's a simple, silly story that has a lot of fun rhymes that lend it a really playful feel and make it especially good, I think, for younger early readers. That is Monsters in a Mess. Next up, we have I Really Want a Bigger Piece by Harriet Ziefert, illustrated by Travis Foster. The style of the illustrations is a lot like the Mo Willems books about Pigeon, and the characters are a little similar too. So if you're a big fan of those books, I'd recommend this one. The main character of this book is called Really Bird because any feeling he has, whether he's thirsty or happy or scared, he really feels that feeling. So he's really thirsty or really happy. So when it's suggested that Really Bird and his friends split their pie into 3 pieces by size, with the smallest one for Really Bird because he's so little, the medium one for Cat, and the largest one for Pup because he's the biggest, well, Really Bird has a problem with this because he is really hungry and really wants a bigger piece. As Really Bird, Cat, and Pup get suggestions from each other and many of their other friends about what to do, they discover that sharing is actually kind of hard sometimes. How can they make sure that everybody is happy, full, and feels like the situation is fair? I really appreciated that this book includes talking points for readers that could be used to open a dialogue about what fairness really means. Whose job is it to make things fair? What does it mean for things to be fair? And do you agree with the character's decision at the end of the book? I think some of you will and some of you won't, so it can open some really good conversations. This story is recommended by publishers for ages 5 through 7 and grades kindergarten through 2nd. Next up, we have Yasmine the Detective by Sadia Faruqi, illustrated by Atem Ali. It all starts with a missing thimble. Yasmine's nanny, or grandmother, can't find it anywhere. And over the next couple of days, more things start to go missing. Buttons, eyeglasses, what on earth is happening? Well, Detective Yasmine is on the case. She starts investigating and collecting facts, but she's still not quite sure what's going on. Then one day at school, she learns some interesting information that seems like it might just be connected to the case. Can she put it all together and solve the mystery? Part of the Yasmine series, this book is recommended by publishers for ages 4 through 8 and grades 1st through 2nd, but I've heard the author say that this book is for everybody. And at the end of this book, there is a craft, reading questions, facts about Pakistan, and a list of Urdu words like Nani that Yasmine and her family use at home. That is Yasmine the Detective. The Super Adventures of Ollie and B Squeals on Wheels by Renee Tremmel is going to be a great option for fans of Elephant and Piggy. The friendship between the two main characters in this book reminds me a lot of the friendship between Elephant and Piggy. B and Ollie are the main characters, and they are going skating with some friends today. Ollie is so excited to skate, but B keeps making up reasons why she can't skate right now. She just felt a raindrop, and you can't skate in the rain. And I think her mom is calling for her. She better go check to see what her mom needs. And there's this book about owl history she has with her that she has to read right now. It's urgent. But are any of these the real reason why she doesn't want to skate? This is a great story about being silly, being a supportive friend, and dealing with those bad moments where you just don't feel very good about yourself. This graphic novel style early reader is the newest in the Ollie and B series. It's recommended by publishers for grades K through 2. And I really love that this book has chapters. So I think it's a fantastic option for older early readers, even maybe some younger early readers that have older siblings, really anybody who's like emotionally ready to read a chapter book and wanting to read like more of a big kid book, but maybe their reading level isn't quite there to do that independently yet. This is a really great option. That is Ollie and B Squeals on Wheels. Next, we have Hoggy Went A-Courting by Ethan Long. Hoggy loves basketball, and he's very good at it. He practices a lot. So when he sees his neighbors playing in their driveway, he wants to go join them. But it turns out there are a few things about basketball that Hoggy isn't so good at, like sharing the ball and encouraging his teammates. If he wants to play with them, he's going to have to learn how to be a good teammate. This book is recommended by publishers for ages 4 through 8 or grades preschool through 3rd, and is a fantastic option for sports fans as well as anyone who maybe is playing on a sports team already or is interested in playing on one in the future. That's Hoggy Went A-Courting. Next up is Archie and Ready. It Doesn't Scare Me, a Discovery by Candy James. Now, this author is actually two people, Candy and James. They're a husband and wife duo who write this book series based off of their daughter's childhood stuffed animals, Archie and Ready, who they say really helped their daughter as she was growing up, learning about the world, and developing self-confidence. So now, through these books, Archie and Ready can do that for kids all over the world as well. Now, Archie and Ready are having a sleepover one day when the lights go out because there's a big storm going on outside. Now, it's a little scary at first, but they make the best of the situation by finding fun games to play to distract themselves. But when they go to bed, they start hearing a loud grrr noise. These friends are going to need all the bravery they can muster to become night knights, knights of the night, to investigate the source of the noise. Now, this is a beautiful story about two friends conquering their fears. I think my favorite part is when Ready says, I'm not scared, I'm just, and Archie jumps in to say, forgetting how brave you are. I think that's just such a beautiful reframing of the situation. And the friendship in this book is just so supportive. It's fantastic. I loved how the book showed the friends going through the house at night, seeing scary shadows and then shining their flashlight at them and discovering they're just regular household objects. It's a really great reminder that just because something looks like a monster in the dark doesn't mean it actually is. I loved this book. It's very heartwarming and fun. Publishers recommend it for ages 4 through 8 and grades preschool through 3rd. Next up, I have Meet the Super Duper 7 by Tim Hamilton. This delightfully ridiculous book is one that publishers recommend for ages 4 through 8 or grades preschool through 3rd. It's perfect for any kid or adult looking for a silly story. I loved it. It definitely made me laugh. It still does thinking about it. It's about Electro Elephant, Hypno Hippo, Hungry Kitty, and 4 brave birds. They are all friends and they form a dynamic superhero team called the Super Duper 7. But, oh no, Hungry Kitty has just eaten the 4 brave birds. Now there are only 3 of them left. They can't be the Super Duper 7 with just 3 of them. Somewhere they're going to have to find some new members. But every time they interview new members, pick someone, scrounge up the money to buy new team t-shirts, it happens again. Hungry Kitty, what are you doing? What is the superhero team going to do to solve this problem? That is Meet the Super Duper 7 by Tim Hamilton. And the last one I have for you today is the first book in a new early reader series about 2 sharks, Katana and Mac. It's called Shark Princess, and it's by Neeti Chinani, who brought you the graphic novel Pashmina, which you can find in our junior graphic novel area. Now, this book is about these 2 friends, Mac and Katana, and they go on an adventure to explore an abandoned shipwreck. In addition to finding lots of excitement, treasure, and maybe even a little danger, they discover the importance of being exactly who you are and about being the one to decide for yourself who you are, not just listening to who you think or who others think that you should be, or feeling pressures to not kind of live up to who you want to be because of some part of your identity. So this book is recommended by publisher for ages 5 through 7 and grades kindergarten through 2nd, but I think older readers would enjoy it as well. It's a little bit of a longer early reader graphic novel, and to me it really had the feel of being between the early reader graphic novels and the J-fiction graphic novels. So it's kind of a nice bridge between those 2 sections for older or more advanced readers. But it's also great for younger early readers or ones who are still working on those reading skills if they have an adult there with them, because there are a lot of puns in the book, sea-related puns that they might need some help with. The back of the book includes a drawing tutorial, facts about sharks and shipwrecks, and even a hide-and-seek game. And with that, we are at the end of this season's early reader book talks. If you have any questions or would like help finding the right fit for your reader, please do talk to a librarian. We love to help. You can also ask them about our personalized pick service, which also helps find the right books for you and your family. And tune in on October 24 to hear about some great early chapter books from librarians Joyanne and Heidi. Happy reading, everybody.